Welcome to the Terminal Exchange, the official podcast of Nussbaum Transportation, where we explore key issues and compelling stories in the trucking industry. I'm your host, Saige Anderson, and you're listening to episode 103, Motherhood, Marketing, and...
the new host of the Terminal Exchange. I'm Dayton Rumbled, and this episode is a little bittersweet. It's bitter because Saige is moving on from Nussbaum into a new season of Motherhood. And it's sweet because we're commemorating the time that she's had here and everything that she's done for Nussbaum. In this episode, she interviews me and talks about how I got to Nussbaum and the adventures in between that. So we're excited for you to listen to this featured exchange.
Welcome to the Terminal Exchange.
Yeah, thank you.
This might be the most sentimental episode yet. So, yeah, we'll just get the news out of the way.
Why is that? Why is it sentimental?
So I have another job.
Really?
Yeah, full-time job. So the pay's not great.
What does it have?
The hours aren't great either.
Oh.
But
Okay.
I heard it's going to be pretty messy also. But yeah, I'm going to be a full-time mom.
Yeah.
So
Woo!
Joe and I are having a boy.
Yeah.
He won't be called Joe Jr. He's going to have his own name.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah, that's so awesome.
This is an episode to introduce the one and only Dayton.
Yep. Hi.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know Dayton, who are you?
Yeah. Well, first, so is Joe Jr. going to be on the podcast, or what's that going to be like?
Maybe he'll get 15 minutes of fame someday. But
Someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of on it right now.
Yeah, he is. Really. And you can like go back and the first time on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really exciting, though.
Yeah. Thank you.
And like you said, it is sentimental in a way because you've been such a big part of Nussbaum. Like just all the drivers, like, you know, you've been that person of connection and you're really gifted like relationally too. So I think that's something that's been really, you know, encouraging, and I won't be another Saige, you know, but yeah, I am excited.
You'll be something new, and it'll be exciting too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I mean, just like, you know, drivers love you so much, and even had a little stack of gifts. Building up.
Not for me, for the little baby.
For the baby, you know,
baby,
and I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, which I can't say thank you enough to the drivers for that. So yeah,
that's pretty cool.
But yeah, let's get into who is Dayton, when did you get here, where are you coming from?
Yeah.
Why do you want to be in marketing?
Why am I here? Why marketing? Before I was working at like a bigger corporation.
Okay.
You know, I graduated from ISU and was doing, you know, programming, and I had Rick Schmidt, you know, reach out to me about a position here at Nussbaum, and one of the persuading things was being in person, and I was more remote before, and I was really wanting to, like, if I had to spend the next year, like, working mostly, you know, away from people or mostly with people, it's like, you know, I'm still developing. They say like the male brain is like still, you know, developing until like 25 or something like that.
So how old are you?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm 24.
Okay, so you got one more year of like good development.
Well, yeah, until like I'm fully like, you know.
Turn into a superhuman.
Not quite, but yeah. So I was like, if I could spend the next year, I would want to do that, you know, around people and being able to grow in that way. So that was a bigger factor of why I came here. And so then coming here was getting thrown into everything IT related, and has been a good time to grow. Like Scott Herman has been, you know, there helping me, you know, training. Nussbaum is really focused on just growing the overall person, like character. Like it's not just about like showing up for a job. Yeah. And Scott's been big on like helping, you know, the team like train for that, and like Tyler Dietrich, you know, and Ben Verkler, like great mentors and people that just help me like communicate better. Yeah. And so I've been really thankful for that. And then
so how do you think your character most changed from being here?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think just being more straightforward, like for me, when I needed help, I wouldn't really like say it. So I've had to learn how to flex that muscle of like, okay, I need help. I'm going to go get help.
Yeah.
And like be straightforward, like, can you help me with this?
Yeah.
And for me, it's not very easy to like ask for help. So that's something that's like, they've, kind of helped me understand like, okay, you need to tell us like, what is going on,
Yeah.
being transparent, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been
I think there's
helpful.
an art of interruption, and when you first start a new company, you need to be able to interrupt people to ask for help.
Right.
It's just kind of awkward.
Right. And know how to do that well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Because there's like a bad time.
Yeah. There's a bad time and a good time. So.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
And then with the marketing role, that was something that came up recently in part of, your transition. And something I did on the side was I filmed wedding videos.
Okay.
So I had friends. I did my first wedding video in 2018. And
Was that your sister, or no? Who was that?
that was like a friend from high school.
Okay.
So yeah, they reached out. It's like, hey, can you film my wedding? Did that, and then I had like maybe one a year, and then 2021 I had like 10 or 12.
Wow.
And then same with last year, I had about that same amount. And then this next year, I said I'm not going to do any, just because it's been too hard to balance that and
Sure.
working here. But it's been something where I can, learn some of the, basics of, I would have to like, reach out with them and make sure to communicate what they want to see in their video. And yeah, so I've done a little bit of that, and podcast was something I did a little bit of too.
Yeah. Yeah,
so.
if you actually guys don't know, I've actually been on Dayton's podcast. What is it
great.
called again?
Trust God, bro.
Trust God, bro.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's I think the first time really connected. So you knew my sister.
Yep.
And you came and shared your story a little bit, and about learning how to study God's word.
Yeah.
And so that was really fun and encouraging, and that was something that I did for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Podcast. I'm hoping to start it again, but right now I'm just balancing this and work. It's work's taking the priority.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you also have something exciting coming up.
True. Yeah. And that's the reason I said on my Instagram bio for the wedding account, I said booked for 2024 because I'm getting married. And so like, I will be booked. I'm not, not planning to do much, trying to make sure I free up my schedule a little bit.
Would you like to give her a shout out?
Yeah. Hope Metz. She's great. Beautiful heart, beautiful person. So yeah.
All right. Yeah. And when's that date?
October 22nd.
October 22nd. Big
So,
day.
Yeah. And your big day?
My big day is around November 1st, but I think it's whenever he wants to make his debut.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that would be a good time though. The fall baby.
I did realize though, I was like, his golden birthday would be the 1st, and he wouldn't really remember that. So, if you want to wait till like 2 or 3, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Nussbaum, other than like being in person, attracted you to be here?
Yeah. What about Nussbaum attracted me? The people I knew, like looking around at the people I knew that worked here were really, top notch.
So you're saying Rick Schmidt is top notch?
That's what I'm saying. Don't let him hear that, or his head might get too big and he can't fit in his office anymore. But I just say that I think when I looked around at the people, it's like, okay, who do I want to become? And you look at the people around you, it's like, okay, like if I grew up to be like this person, like would I be happy?
Yeah.
And I thought for the most part, I was like, okay, I think these people, have pretty high quality.
Yeah,
so that was
sure do.
persuading factor.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you? Was something how?
My story?
Yeah, you said this is like we're reminiscing a little bit, so we got to reminisce on your beginning at Nussbaum.
My beginning was I walked into the first office building over there, saw the mural of "Unless the Lord builds a house, the laborers work in vain." And I thought my whole life is vanity. No, no, I'm kidding. No, that scripture really touched my heart because it made me realize, like, wherever I am working, like, I just want to make sure I'm doing it for the Lord. And so I think at Nussbaum it's a really sweet opportunity. Drivers are kind of just a group of people that they're isolated, they're by themselves on the road a lot of the times. They're kind of, their life's not easy. I mean, we think about laundry and showers and food, like it's just challenging. So I just really thought it was exciting that the people in the office that I saw could love and support the drivers, and in return, those drivers would want to keep going. Want to keep pushing on. So, yeah, I just thought it was a really neat place to be, and I've got really lucky because they give you a lot of free food here, and a lot of laughs, a lot of jokes, and, yeah, I feel like they've really helped develop my character. I didn't really go in thinking my brain needs to develop more, but I knew that there would be good mentorship and good leadership here, and, yeah, I found it, so.
Yeah. And so you started off in HR?
Yeah, I started off in HR safety because I just really wanted to work here. So I was like, give me whatever job you can give me. To this day, I don't know if I was not good at that job or they're like, you'll do better in recruiting. So somehow I got moved to recruiting.
Okay.
And I loved it. Got to hire a lot of just awesome drivers. And then the opportunity opened up in marketing. And so I was like, I kind of like being in front of the camera. Don't tell people, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of a ride, but it'll be around like 3.75 years, however you want to say that.
3.75. Yeah.
So, not yet at 4, but close.
What were your first thoughts about Nussbaum? Like when you first started working here, like what did you think about Nussbaum then?
Well, before I even got to Nussbaum, I just thought, the trucking company? Like, it was my last name on the list of jobs that I was trying to find.
Really?
Yep. Because I didn't know anything about trucks. So I was like, why would I work at a trucking company?
Right.
But then I got here and was like, this place looks like like not a trucking like it looks like a
ski resort
or something. Like, do these people know that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just kind of taken away of the atmosphere. I remember I saw somebody reading their Bible over lunch, and at this time I think they were playing some like really soft worship music like all throughout the office, and I saw operations and kind of thought of them as like 911 operators because their little red lights were going off, but they all felt very calm. So I was like, yeah, okay. 911 operators are probably really calm too.
Yeah.
So, I remember the first time I ever put on the headset and felt really dorky because I was like, I never wear headsets. Now it's like you accidentally are wearing it when you go home, and you're like, oops,
sorry,
put this back.
Gotta take that off.
So yeah, I was just kind of blown away of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's not something you come across every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It'd be cool to visit other trucking companies just to compare because, it's... I
mean, and drivers in orientation are always like, wait, where am I?
Yeah.
So it's, I need to hear their perspective too. So speaking of Nussbaum, what do you think it means to be purpose-driven?
Purpose-driven.
Since that's our favorite slogan around here.
Oh, Tyler Dietrich just did an article on this, so I'm not going to reuse his words. What does it mean to be purpose-driven? I love the phrase, doing good for the industry. And just thinking about, like, I'm coming to work, like, I'm here to make a paycheck, but I also want to do good for the industry and for the work that I'm doing. I want to produce something, like make something or like help someone in a way that is like productive. So and I think that's been really cool. And with the ESOP and owning it and all that stuff, it's like to be purpose driven. It's like to be doing good for the industry. I love that phrase.
Okay. I think in a summary of like the mission and vision statement of Nussbaum, it kind of reminds me of just leaving people and places in a better condition than you found it. It's not always easy to do, but it's just like a good thing to at least try to strive for. If you could, like if somebody invites you over to their house to stay and they make you food and house you and clothe you, like picking up after yourself and maybe leaving like a note saying, hey, like thanks for your hospitality, or if whether it's at work and it's just like, oh, I dropped water all over the floor, like I'm going to clean it up, make sure it's at least in the same condition. But I think if we could just strive to try to make a difference and leave people in places and things in a good condition, whether it's picking up trash around the yard. Yeah, it's just a good thing to try for.
Yeah.
So.
It makes me think of the phrase like seen, heard, and known. And yeah, being able to do that with people that you come in contact with. And you'll still, I think Justin Warden in the orientation, like he said this, he's like, there will be bad days.
Yeah.
There's days I come in and I don't want to be here. But like being able to know, it's like, yeah, I want to do these things with my work and make it more than just my work, and to do everything as to the Lord. And
yeah, awesome. Dayton, where did you come from? Like, where'd you grow up? How was your family?
Where'd I go?
People want to know these things.
Come from Cotton Eye Joe. I grew up in Peoria, not too far from here.
Okay.
And I actually grew up on a grain elevator. Oh. So it had lots of trucks moving around the grain elevator. And we would climb up in the fall time when there was overflow of grain. There would be a giant cement pad that they would put the grain on. So when that happened, then my dad, we would get a sled and we would like walk up the corn, and then we would like sled down the corn. This was
not inside the grain elevator, right? Like
it's like outside,
okay,
but it's like down corn.
Okay.
So it's the most Midwest thing you've probably ever heard.
So did that affect like the price of the corn?
No.
Okay.
It's all like hard kernels,
okay,
not like sweet corn.
Okay.
But yeah, so
that's just seed that they're going to replant.
Just seed, turn into corn syrup.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that. So it's going to get processed.
Sure.
And yeah, so hopefully, nothing got ruined or. But yeah, that was just something. It didn't happen that often, but just a flavor. That's where I kind of grew up around that, and then I moved closer to Peoria a little bit later, and then I went to school at ISU.
Okay.
I got connected with a lot of different people. Went to the dorms there, and I really enjoyed that experience. Got to meet people really different than me, and
Siblings?
Yeah, I have an older brother and 2 younger sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of them happens to be named Saige. So right.
It is, and so that's something too. It's like I'm on my phone, I'm texting, and I pull up Saige, and I've almost clicked on yours instead of hers because it's like the only 2 Saiges on my phone.
Yep.
So it does happen.
I think Saige is kind of a trending name right now.
It is.
Yeah.
You're probably looking up all these trending names.
Yeah. If you guys have any comments about names, I don't know if this episode will be out before or after, but we'd love to hear your suggestions of names.
Yeah. Comment your guesses. What do you think the baby's name's going to be?
Yep.
Any hints?
We like the letter R so far. So if you want to throw out 3 R names that you would suggest, go ahead. I'll have a clear face.
No face.
No face, but and not your average, not like
Russell.
Yeah, not Russell.
Robert.
No, like these don't even count.
Randy.
If your name is named Russell or Robert, like that's fine. Like that is great, but we're a little bit more unique.
Okay.
So
I feel like I don't have any good guesses.
Nothing? No.
Rob.
Those are all
same name.
Yeah, those are like the same names. Okay. Well, you were not very helpful.
Does Daniel have a guess?
Raymond. No. That reminds me of a show. Is it Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but nope.
Not Raymond.
Yeah, not Raymond.
Okay.
Not Rivian either. Somebody was like, Rivian's up and coming. So.
Is it a name?
It probably will be soon.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rivers.
No, that is I like that one a lot, though. There is someone that recently named their baby. Well, I mean, he's a year old now.
Yeah.
I like that kind of feel.
Yeah.
Like a river.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is cool. There's actually Ellie Holcomb. She named one of her kids Rivers or River, and she wrote a song about it. Or about him. And so it's really cute. It's like making his way back home, getting stuck in playing outside. And
so sweet.
Yeah, it's so sweet. It's like a little country folk song. It's really good.
Yeah. That's I wish I was more musically
That's
talented.
okay.
I could write the lyrics, Joe can play something.
Yeah, Joe plays guitar, right?
Yeah, he can do it by ear, which is...
Really?
It actually, like, people like that feel like magic. Like,
Yeah.
I could just say,
How do you do
hey,
that?
here's a song, listen to it, and then he could just,
Play it.
like, play it. Like, it's like something magic just, like...
Yeah.
I guess you would just call it a gift from God, but yeah. I can't do that. I can't.
That's pretty impressive.
So you got any hidden talents like that?
No.
Nothing?
Pause to think. No, I don't even have anyone to pretend I have a talent.
I do happen to know that you are pretty bold, and I think you took a solo trip to Alaska.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like a...
It's not a talent, but I like traveling.
It's a gift that you just were like, well...
Yeah.
So, yeah, tell us about this. Was this a kind of gap moment in your life between the previous job in Nussbaum?
Yeah. So,
or was midlife crisis, maybe?
Quarter life crisis, or what you call it. In between, my job before this and now, I, had some time. So I was like, I want to do something. I want to go somewhere. And I don't know why, but Alaska was the top of my list. I guess I wanted to see the Northern Lights and experience that. And I didn't even pause to think, like, should I take someone with me? Like, I just started booking the flight. And afterwards, like, people were like, hey, like, why didn't you, like, let me know? Like, I would have gone with you. But it was still really fun.
Yeah.
A crazy experience. Just when I was there, I met a guy that had sled dogs. And, lots of sled dogs. And he raced on the Iditarod. And I met, like, a National Geographic videographer. And so, like, he was filming these sled dogs. Like, I was, just out and about, and, like, it was near Fairbanks, Alaska. So and they were filming for Life Below Zero, which is like a TV show on National Geographic. And I was, like, just super fascinated. I was like, this is so cool. And the landscape there is, like, so, like, icy. Like, I went during, winter, January. So it's, like, very cold.
Was there any sun?
There's sun, probably, like, 4 to 5 hours. Wow. Because it's just very slow. It's like, it looks like the sun is rising for a lot of the time, and by the time you think it's done rising, it's starting to set.
Oh no!
So it's just like a constant sunrise and sunset.
Wow. So is it like beautiful colors the whole time, like all these like purples and pinks and blues?
I didn't really get any of that type of sunset when I was there. I'm sure there might be.
Sure.
But it was more of like a golden color, just soft, pale orange.
Okay.
Not the whole day, but like during that, the golden hour, they would have that. And
Wow. So how long was your time in Alaska?
It wasn't long. It was 4 days.
Oh,
I think.
Okay. I was picturing like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. I didn't have that much time.
How long does it take to get to Alaska from central Illinois?
I can't remember exactly. I'm going to say 8 hours. That was just gut feel, but you can correct me later.
So 4 days near Fairbanks, Alaska. Did you get to pet the sled dogs?
Yeah, I got to pet some sled dogs. And
do you remember any of their names? That might be interesting.
You got me there. I don't remember any of their names.
That'd be pretty neat.
It's crazy how many dogs there are. Like these people that own sled dogs have over. I mean, I want to say like 15, 20 dogs that they just keep with them, and to feed them is like a big feat itself. You have to get a bunch of fish or whatever you're feeding them. I don't know. It's a lot of food.
Can they eat like just raw fish, or like do they have to cook it? Or
I think depends on what their owner wants. But what I saw was sometimes people will, since there's a lot of fishing rivers, will just fish in their like off time, like maybe in the summer, and get as much food as they can for their like sled dogs, and then
just throw it right to them, like caught a fish, here you go.
Yeah, they'll probably clean it and stuff.
Like gut it?
Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not a great
Bears
fisher.
Just pick up the fish and
just eat it. Yeah.
Right? I mean,
why can't dogs?
Yeah. Were they all like huskies, or like what kind of dogs were they?
Yeah, so like that, probably like husky type.
Siberian husky.
Yeah, I'm not a big dog person, so I'm not sure on that difference.
Yeah.
But
my brother has a husky, and I could tell in his inner heart like he just wants to be in Alaska. But
really?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really beautiful, but they just look like they're meant to be in the winter, in the frost somewhere.
Yeah. So it is really cool just thinking back, chasing the northern lights. Like I waited a couple nights, like in my car late to see if I'd, see them. I didn't see them the first night, and the second night, I was like, oh, is that it? And then, I got out my camera and like I went outside the car, and like it's like the area I went was like overlooked the town, had like a what do you call it? Observation tower, kind of overlooking, like the stars were really cool. And then all of a sudden you start to see this green like wisp come out. And
so you did get to see them?
I did get to see them.
Okay.
So that was kind of my crowning moment. And was
it day 2 that you saw them?
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Just late night, because the time changed. And then I think it was like 2 a.m. Okay. It was like when I first started to see them. So I was, kind of just out there. And
what would you, like, if you could summarize in one word the emotion you felt?
I don't know if I was overly emotional, but I would say awe. Like the truck, like the heavens declare the glory of the Lord, or the glory of God.
Yeah.
That was just something that's like, yeah, God is like in all of his creation. Yeah. And it's just one of those times when it just another way to see it, just like a beautiful sunrise or sunset. It's like, okay, like there is something more here than just the stuff I'm experiencing.
Yeah.
Like, it does make you think there has to be some intelligent design.
Yeah.
Like, and just one of those things that is like, okay, this is really cool.
Yeah, maybe we need a picture of the Northern Lights on the next trailer.
Yeah.
Wow. So after you found the Northern Lights, then any other goals that you had for going to Alaska?
Yeah, I had some small things, but I'll just share one. And it was just, I went to an ice cave. I stayed at a hostel, so with other people, and, I was talking to these people. It's like, hey, do you want to go to this ice cave with me? And, we drove out maybe an hour, and we, walked out, and it's like, oh, is it right here? Like, where is it? We can't see it. And then as we got closer, it's like there it is. Like, it took a little bit longer than we thought it would be. It's like, oh, this would be a quick hike. Like, I was trying to sell them on it. It's like, this would be super fun. And we got to it, and it was just, just think of ice. And it goes very, very far deep back, and it's like very big opening. And as you go back, it gets smaller and smaller, and there's lots of like ice crystals like coming down from the ceiling. So if you brush your head, there's like, ice crystals.
Are you worried that like one might take you out, or?
No,
they were pretty
really
solid.
But in the very back of the cave, I was a little, worried, because like there's this like a little lantern in the very back that someone placed there. And it keeps going, and if you could like crawl back there, it would keep going. But it's like, the ground below you was cracking a little bit, and it's like, oh, is this gonna like break, or is it gonna like hold up?
Yeah.
And just to be back there was
so did you make
fun.
It to the lantern?
Yeah, I went back by the lantern.
How did it stay lit?
Just a battery operated one that someone threw back there when they were traveling. So it probably
out by now.
Yeah, it's probably out by now. But it was just, one of those things.
It kind of reminds me of The Great Gatsby, the green light that's just flickering.
Yeah. Yeah, never read it, but it sounds good.
Wow. So you made friends with strangers. Mm-hmm. You met sled dogs. Yeah. You saw the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
Would you, you're going to be married now, but would you ever, would you suggest to people like, hey, take a solo trip to Alaska?
It doesn't have to be solo.
Yeah.
But it's just another place that is really cool. And if you're a truck driver, then it is something that you're at least a little interested in, is travel and experiencing different places. Mm-hmm. And, we don't go out to Alaska, but...
Yet.
When Nussbaum air happens, then...
Yeah.
And even the winter driving would be awful. So I'm really glad that...
Well, isn't that where the sled dogs come in? Like, are they delivering mail? Or, like, what... Did you get to ask that man about, like, why he uses sled dogs?
Yeah, so his were more for, like, racing. Oh, and that it was kind of his career was, racing sled dogs. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if people do deliver mail, but a lot of people use snowmobiles or stuff like that during the winter, because it's so hard to get chains.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you have some questions there for me?
I'm just looking back to see if I missed anything. I was gonna ask, since this is a little bit nostalgic, looking back on. Do you have a favorite marketing memory? Is it okay if I change the topic?
Oh, yeah. yeah, topic changes are okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Do I have a favorite marketing memory?
Do you have a favorite marketing memory? Something that happened in marketing that you really look back on fondly?
Well, one of my favorite marketing memories is the Love Above All trailer.
Okay.
So I think I was pretty fresh in the department, and when you start something new, what's that like feeling you get where you're like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, like an imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
Like was there a title for that?
Yeah, imposter syndrome. Like.
Okay. Yeah. So I was struggling with imposter syndrome. I was like, I don't really know how to take good pictures or edit things, or like what can I have to offer to this department? Like, why do they even pick me? And we were thinking about the next trailer graphic, and it was the love of, like, we knew we wanted to use Love Above All, and we were cycling through what should be the picture of this? Like, should this be a family embracing each other? It was during COVID, so it was like, do we put masks on the people? Do we not? Like, how do we portray what love above all means? And I was just kind of glancing around, and I think this morning, like, I literally prayed and was like, God, I feel like just kind of purposeless. I don't really know like what I can offer to this department. And so we were trying to brainstorm, and I remember looking at one of the mini model trucks, like just the die-cast trucks that we have. And I had just moved into a place where I had like a giant chalkboard wall. Yeah. And so I was using that chalkboard wall to write different verses on, and just kind of, I don't know, motivation. And I was like, how can we make this trailer where we could use, like, it's not just marketing, finding this, like, a picture and putting it on the side of a trailer. And so I was like, what if we, gave everybody a piece of chalk and had Love Above All written, and then people could write what, like, they're struggling with, like, what comes in front of love in front of their life. Yeah. And then cross it off to kind of signify almost this, like, I'm nailing this to the cross. Yeah. Love covers this issue. And so I just kind of, like, word plopped this, and they liked it, and they took it, and they're like, okay, like, this is good. Yeah. And so it was really sweet to see, like, that idea come to life. And Philip at the time actually, like, created like a chalkboard that we could wheel in here, and I got to paint like in the studio, so I got to like wear these like paint clothes to work and was painting. And to this day I don't know if people are like, this lady's crazy, like, why is she painting at work, what is she doing? Right. I remember going to lunch and like kind of had like black chalkboard paint on me, and I loved it. I loved I think my favorite part of marketing is like encouraging other people to be bold and to do something. So to encourage people, like, hey, like, go up there, write something on that board, and kind of like nail this to the cross. And so now today we have this trailer that is across the US, going different places, and I'm not sure that everybody really understands the concept fully, because it's kind of a hard, like, you stare at this trailer and it says Love Above All, and then there's these words crossed off. But we get messages from the public, and something like in their heart, like they understand it. Like, it's not like they know how it came about or what, but I think they know what they would put on that and what they would say. In my life, I have pride that comes before love a lot. Or for me, it's expectations. Like, if I think something's going to happen and then this person like breaks my expectations, I don't know how, it's very difficult to keep on like loving them. So if you struggle with imposter syndrome at all,
yes. Wow.
So it was rewarding, and I think we all, anytime we start something new, just kind of question, like, am I going to be good enough for this? And I think luckily a good place to turn is, if you have faith in God, prayer on your knees, and sometimes he answers quickly, and sometimes it takes a little while because he's got something to teach us. So
but he's there. It's really, and it's like we have moving billboards. It's super cool. I love that one. We, with our 3 trailers that came out recently, the Psalm series,
there's just so many messages that come out of people being so encouraged by them. So yeah, I think I'm going to start actually wearing t-shirts no, I'm kidding.
Wearing t-shirts
that are just Psalms. That
yeah.
are really pretty.
Yeah, our t-shirts are like billboards too, I guess.
We are billboards, so yeah.
Yeah, I love that one. And I never knew that you were the one that came up with that idea of the chalkboard. And yeah, it's really cool.
There's that. You want to be humble, and you don't want to be like, it was me, it was my idea.
I did that.
Yeah, there's a humble line that you want to walk, but since you asked,
yeah,
and I felt like it was more a gift of God giving me of like reassurance than my idea.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah,
that was a good question.
Yeah, I love it.
Any other nostalgia time that you have in IT that you want to bring up before?
Let me look at my notes.
Here's a question. Why do you guys have so many rubber duckies?
So the rubber ducks is when you're stuck having a problem and you don't know what to do. And so if you start to explain the problem to someone or something, then it helps you understand it, and maybe you might understand how to fix it. So that's something that, you call it like, I'm going to rubber duck this idea. So being able to have that, or you can talk to a person. So that's what the rubber ducks.
Have you seen somebody talk to the rubber duck like in the corner of the room?
No.
Have you done it?
Not yet, but I might.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. I guess no one actually uses the rubber duck, but you can be like, hey, like, can I rubber duck this thing with you, and just talk about it, and it's been helpful.
Because they're like everywhere.
They are.
And they're in all different shapes and sizes, and
yep, big little rubber ducks all around. Wow. One of my favorite memories would just be, so Mountain Dew is a big thing in IT, and so drinking Mountain Dew, and Ben Verkler has a huge Mountain Dew collection, like personal collection. There's like, flavors from just certain years, like 2020 had like a mystery flavor, 2021. And so he had lots of these flavors. And so we did like a Mountain Dew tournament where like March Madness, you like have different, brackets, and you can, so we all had these little, cups, and you try these Mountain Dews and compare them. And that was just a fun team bonding thing, just bonding over that.
After that competition, did people seem a little off to you? Like a little, like super caffeinated or sugar high, or?
Yeah, it was a lot of sugar. But yeah, so definitely, work went through the roof that day.
Very productive.
I think we wrote 3 new programs. We made Link 3.0.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, awesome. You're going to have a lot to look forward to in the marketing department. We have, I think each one of us has just a completely different character, like from each other, but it like works together really well.
Yeah.
So you've got Lazy and Snoopy, and no, I'm kidding. I was just trying to name off the dwarfs.
Yeah. It's like, which one's late? No,
maybe cut that out. No, I was just trying to.
Yeah. Appreciate everything that you've done, and just thinking about that, and that's just the top of it, just the, relational person you've been to, all the drivers, and, that's, something to leave your mark on Nussbaum, and really thankful for you and what you've done here. Yeah.
Well, thank you. And, this will be the final episode of Terminal Exchange for me.
Really?
Yes. But not for you. This will be the start of many.
Yeah.
So without further ado, Dayton, I will give you the microphone, which you already have one. Meet your new host, Dayton.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure and a joy to work with you all.
Yeah.
And until next time.
Yeah.
I guess there isn't like, how do you say a proper, this is Saige's farewell address?
Yeah. Make sure to send Saige all of your love. Let her know how much, you all appreciate her. If you are looking for a way to get in touch with me, Joe Anderson, he works in HR. You can always pester him and say, hey, tell Saige blah, blah, blah. And I'll hopefully get the message if he doesn't forget. So yeah. He's got a good memory, and he likes to make notes on his phone. So he'll remember. Yeah. So just imagine confetti falling from the ceiling, and But you've done an awesome job here. Sweet. Thank you. All right. We'll see you guys.
Hi everyone, this is CJ from Recruiting at Nussbaum, and I'd love to answer any questions you have about driving with us. Give us a call at 309-268-1199 or visit nussbaumjobs.com. Talk to you soon.
You've been listening to Terminal Exchange, the official podcast of Nussbaum Transportation. If you're enjoying our content, please leave us a review. Your reviews help us spread the word about these important topics and invite more people into the conversation. You can rate and review us on your podcast app or visit us online at terminalexchange.org. New episodes arrive every other Tuesday, so be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow Nussbaum on your favorite social media platforms and be the first to know when new episodes are released. Thanks for listening. Until next time, own every moment and stay purpose-driven.